Hola, muy buenas tardes a todos. Muchas gracias por acompañarnos a la rueda de prensa, donde vamos a hablar y dar un poco de detalles sobre lo que será la participación de esta compañía australiana de danza contemporánea que es God's Dance, que pues bueno, contamos con el privilegio este año de poder tener, como siempre, casi todos los años en cuanto a la programación del festival, pues muchos estrenos en Latinoamérica, estrenos en México o por primera vez en Jalisco, ¿no? En esta ocasión, pues tenemos la fortuna de contar con el estreno internacional de la obra Perception Experiment. Es la primera vez que se va a presentar fuera de Australia y pues bueno, sin duda creo que es algo que nos alegra mucho. Esto pues va a llevarse a cabo en el LARVA los días 11 y 12 de mayo. Tenemos 2 funciones por día y pues bueno, en realidad para el ingreso a este espectáculo es gratuito. Nada más hay como un límite de asientos, los cuales pues la gente puede obtener el acceso presentándose 1 hora antes del espectáculo para que puedan entregarle su pase y ya puedan disfrutar del evento. Entonces, pues bueno, cuento con la compañía de las 2 coreógrafas que crearon este trabajo, que es Frankie Snowdon y Madeleine Krenek. Y pues bueno, me gustaría cederles la palabra para que nos compartan algo.
Hola. Yeah, I wish that I understood exactly what Agustin just said. I heard spectacular and I felt flattered. But yeah, I'm Frankie and this is Madeleine and we're from Guts Dance, which is a dance company based in the centre of Australia, right in the desert, in the very, very middle. So the closest coastline to us is 1,500 kilometres away, so we're very much in the desert. Somebody the other day was saying, oh, people don't come to Guadalajara because it's too far away from the coast, and I was like, well, we're really far away. But we're really excited to be here all the way from the desert. It's about 16,000 kilometres from our home to here, so it's a long way. And we're getting ready for our show, the Perception Experiment, and like Agustin said, it's the first time that it's been internationally toured, so this is the first time we've taken it out of Australia, which is really exciting for us. I don't know if anyone wants to ask any questions, otherwise I just keep talking and talking and talking. Yeah.
How do you describe the experience for the performance?
Oh, that's a good question. So the work is dealing with themes around our physical perceptions of time and space, so how we as human bodies experience the movement of time and how we see ourselves in space and how we can warp or stretch or shorten how we experience those things. And it also looks at sound phenomena, so how sound affects particles and molecules in the body, and how we can represent things that are ephemeral, like dance, that doesn't last, that is only existing for the time we're doing it, how we can leave traces of those things behind in time and space. So it's looking at different ways that we can affect the world around us and how the world around us affects our existence. So there's a lot of different ways the audience get that without giving too much away, because some of it is a secret, but there's lots of experiments with light, with being in the darkness for long periods of time, for having physical contact with other people. Also, I mean, one thing that isn't a secret because it's on the posters is that we're masked. So you can't see who we are for the whole show, basically. And that is in order to kind of detach identity from form. So to try and give the idea that as bodies, we're vessels for action and experience rather than for individual women on stage. So that our bodies become conduits and kind of instruments for movement and concept rather than for people on stage. Yeah.
We also kind of designed the show in a way to allow people to really strip themselves of visual information. So there's times that in the world today we're constantly seeing things like screens and cars and ads and things like that, and so we really want to pull people out of that experience and into something so that they, when they're watching the dance and the lights and everything that's happening, they're viewing it differently because of coming out of that world. Does that make sense?
I think so, but I speak English. Anybody else?
So both of you are part of that performance.
Yes. Yeah.
So does the public participate in the performance in some way? They are seats and hang out?
There are, normally we would do the show for only a really small audience, so normally it would only be 100 people per show that see it. But here we're in LARVA and we've got the capacity to have a lot of people, but we can't do what we would do with those 100 people with, say, 400 people. So here the audience will be divided into 2 groups, and the first 100 get an experience where they do participate, so they become part of the beginning of the show. And then after they've been briefed and they've taken their position, then the rest of the audience will come in and observe. So there is partly participation and partly observation, yeah. You're asking some very excellent questions. We've tried to replicate not even replicate, but represent feelings and experiences that happen in time and space, like the desert. So the desert is, it's super vast. It's really isolating, actually, because it's so big. You can often feel very, very small and like you are going to disappear into nothing and no one will ever find you. It's also very loud, even though there's not a lot going on. So it's one of those environments that when you're in it on your own, all of a sudden everything becomes extreme. So sounds are louder, space feels bigger, you feel smaller. So we've tried to take those physical feelings and put them into the show. So by putting you in the darkness for a long time, by taking away your capacity to see, by giving you very intricate, layered sound scores, by making it feel kind of foreign and a bit weird, we're trying to get the audience in the same state that you can reach when you're in the desert, rather than physically like showing you a photo of the desert or something, you know? Like, it's more about the visceral like feeling of the desert and the experience of that, rather than, oh, this is what it looks like where we come from. Yeah.
Me gustaría hacer como referencia que prácticamente la mayoría de las participaciones de artistas o compañías australianos que están asistiendo a esta edición del festival tienen como esta relación o similitud en que sus trabajos de alguna manera están relacionados o hacen referencia directamente a elementos que tienen que ver como con la naturaleza, tratan así como que de tomar rasgos característicos de, no sé, el clima, el ambiente, zonas geográficas de Australia, que sin duda, a pesar, o sea, es un continente, es un país que es prácticamente un continente por sí solo, y hay muchísimos, no sé, especies de animales totalmente diferentes que podríamos encontrar en otros continentes o tipos de fauna, etcétera, ¿no? Entonces, bueno, en lo que fue la inauguración con la exposición, vemos arte aborigen que está hecho de, no sé, base de pigmentos naturales, sobre corteza de árbol, etcétera, ¿no? Manteniendo una relación de esta conexión con la naturaleza en un modo de ofrecer respeto hacia ella, ¿no? Dance North, lo mismo, hacen esta conexión de rescatar lo que es un ritual aborigen, por así decirlo, de estas comunidades que también están muy relacionadas con la naturaleza y pues, no sé, tratan de representarlo justamente en escena. El caso con Goods Dance y pues con las demás representaciones que vamos a ver a lo largo del festival, ¿no? Entonces es como una constante, tal vez quizá también como un enfoque que quiso manejar el festival. Entonces, pues, no sé, está muy interesante en ese aspecto porque sí demuestra mucho este respeto que tienen la sociedad australiana, no solamente los artistas o compañías, sino la sociedad misma hacia su naturaleza. No sé si hay alguna otra pregunta.
Where is the principal feeling or impression that you want to transmit to the public?
What is the principal feeling that we want to kind of transmit?
I guess it's hard to put that into like one sort of word, but I think it's a really heightened awareness of what you're experiencing. So super attention to detail, being able to sit back and let the information come to you, being in the space, feeling the sound. So just really, really lapping up the experience as much as you can, I guess, and to come out of it maybe questioning like, what did I just see? what was that? How did that make me feel? So more, it's an offering for the audience members to question what they're seeing from themselves, I think.
Also, one thing that we do in our work that we make together is that often it won't be made for like a theatre, for example, because it feels really important for us that dance as a physical form that we use our bodies with is shared with other bodies in close proximity, so that the exchange of energy is not just about you sitting in a seat kind of far away watching something, but that you are like close enough that you can like feel what's going on, that you might like. In this show also there's about 14 kilos of salt per show that gets thrown across the stage, and that will touch you. The dust goes in the air, it goes on your skin, you can taste it. Like it's super multi-sensory. So we want people to feel like they haven't just seen something great, but they've heard something amazing, they've tasted something, they've felt something, that all of their senses and their body have been affected somehow, and that makes them have to be like extremely present in that moment with us, because it's not a passive observation, it's like an active offering. Yeah. Well, we went and saw our friends Dance North perform last night, and if our participants are anywhere near as excited and willing as the participants in their show, I think it will be really great. I think it's what we're asking of people is very different to what we're asking you to be still and quiet, not dance around and. But I think from what we've learnt about people in Mexico is that they're really willing and friendly, and that if we need to create an environment of trust so that when people come in, they don't feel like we're making them do something that is uncomfortable for them. So I think as long as we can relay that, I think that the population in Guadalajara, people that come and see it, will really help us with the show, because it very much changes depending on the willingness of the audience. We can really feel it if people are like, oh, I don't know about this. It changes the whole energy. But if we can create an environment where people are like, okay, yep, I'm chill, I'm good, then the whole thing just kind of opens up. So I expect it will be that one, but I don't know.
happen. But in terms of dancing stuff, I think we'll do some dancing in clubs. But yeah, we've had such an amazing experience here in Guadalajara, and it's been incredible. So we're also having a little holiday in Mexico after this. We're going to Mexico City and then down to Puerto Escondido. So we're just going to relax after the shows, but we're going to enjoy your country for a few more weeks.
Sí, el ingreso para estas funciones es gratuita. Sacamos algunos en promociones en redes sociales, pero en realidad la mayoría del acceso al recinto se va a hacer el mismo día de la función, 1 hora antes. La gente tiene que llegar, me imagino se va a hacer una fila y ahí se les va a dar, les va a entregar sus boletos para que accedan. Es totalmente gratuito, nada más que hay un cupo limitado. Pero hay 2 funciones por día, entonces pues pueden tener la oportunidad de alcanzar para la segunda. Van a ser 500 en esta ocasión. Lo mismo para el evento de Gravity en Other Meets. Pues bueno, creo que agradecemos mucho que nos hayan acompañado y pues bueno, esperamos que nos puedan acompañar también en las 4 funciones que van a presentar pues las chicas y su equipo, y pues muchas gracias.